Hey there traders, this is Steve Miley, the market chartist, for our regular weekly macro watch roundup for the week commencing the 19th of April 2021. Stock markets stay very strong, US dollar sets back. So let's first of all take a look at the macroeconomic and geopolitical developments over the past week. Well, US retail sales data for March came in extremely strong on Thursday, beating expectations with a rise of 9.8% month on month, and that's really helped the more risk-on theme we've seen in here continuing into mid-April and likely through mid-April and beyond. We also have had earnings season kick off in earnest in the US, with the banks and financials leading the way in most instances over the past week, significantly beating expectations. And the European vaccine rollout has started to improve, although it still lags behind what we're seeing in the US and UK, which continue at a higher pace. Some European nations are, however, starting to lift down lockdown measures, which is obviously a positive and reopening up their economies. So let's now take a look at the global financial market developments for the past week ending the 16th of April. Well, US yields have started to correct back lower in here, and that move back lower in yields has certainly seen the growth stocks start to re-energize on the upside. So Nasdaq in here 100 breaking to a new all-time high, Nasdaq Composite similarly higher, and we're seeing those big tech stocks forming a base and starting to re-energize, having been underperforming their value stock cousins in here over the past few weeks and even since March through April. The European equity indices, having been sideways for much of last week, did take the leadership from the US equity indices and averages at the end of last week, surging higher, with the DAX here hitting yet another new record high. And in the FX space, the US dollar, from originally weakening within G3 against the euro and the yen, has now started to weaken across the board. So this negative US dollar correction starting to see a lot more breadth, with the US dollar broadly lower. We can see the dollar yen correction here continuing to the downside, US dollar weakness, but we're also starting to see the risk currencies, the Australian, New Zealand, Canadian dollars, all doing better against the US dollar through the second half of last week and pointing back to the upside. And the commodities themselves have also done well in here. So crude has broken to the upside in here, having been in a consolidation for much of March, April, breaking back to the upside, with the US dollar weakness helping commodities across the board. Not only crude there, but copper also breaking out from its consolidation range in here that we've seen over the last multiple weeks. And also we've seen gold continue higher, that US dollar weakness helping gold higher throughout April and surging still further to the upside in here at the end of last week. So let's take a look at the week ahead, the week commencing the 19th of April. Well, COVID cases, obviously, hospitalizations and deaths stay very much in the spotlight, particularly in Europe in here, where we're starting to see maybe the vaccinations kicking in and also some potential easing of lockdown measures, which we're also going to be monitoring that, the potential easing of further lockdown measures in here through Europe. On the central bank side, we have the RBA, the Reserve Bank of Australia, meeting minutes out on Tuesday, and then we get the Bank of Canada meeting comes on Wednesday, and finally on Thursday we get the ECB meeting. So Bank of Canada and the ECB with their interest rate decisions and statements coming Wednesday and Thursday, certainly very much in focus. On the earnings side, the US earnings season continues this week with Coca-Cola, IBM, Johnson & Johnson. We get Netflix, Verizon and Intel. On the data side, Monday's fairly light with Japanese industrial production. We get those RBA meeting minutes Tuesday. A UK employment report comes through also on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we move on to Australian retail sales and UK inflation data, including CPI. We also get Canadian CPI ahead of the Bank of Canada interest rate decision and statement on Wednesday. That ECB interest rate decision and statement comes through on Thursday, and the weekend's off with UK retail sales and always the much watched global market flash purchasing managers index data. So guys, if you like what you've seen in here, please do hit that YouTube like button, follow us on that YouTube channel. Have a great trading week and stay safe. So traders, don't forget to catch us on the next FX Explained Macro Watch and all the great content on fxexplained.co.uk.